Disclaimer, this code was provided to us for free for review purposes. It, however, does not make a difference on my opinion. In fact, I feel my opinion was a little bit more negative. That's because I'm generally a more die-hard Milestone fan and I expected more from them, but I just wanted to quickly add this in. I've had time to cool down and I do actually feel this is a good, solid, average racing game, but it's nothing special, so for all you looking for an average racing game, this'll be it. But in the meantime, please enjoy my review. And of course, if you have different opinions, that's fine. Feel free to share them in the comments. I'll read everything down below. And yeah, let's get into this. Complacency. That's pretty much what comes to mind with any Milestone title now, and especially with Ride Free. Now, it seems to me they've got into a kind of comfortable zone. They know what they're gonna do, a same old cookie cutter game, just release the same thing yearly, and there'll be no problem whatsoever, and they'll just get a guaranteed X amount of cash, which is quite a shame. I mean, I understand with MotoGP, the rosters every year update and stuff. Same thing with kind of FIFA, you have to be on top of that yearly, else you're gonna be out of date. But for something with Ride, I think they should take a little bit more time with it. Again, they all feel very similar, the same kind of pattern, same formula. And the problem is the formula doesn't improve, it just constantly feels the same. Which is quite a shame, because I really do love Milestone, I'm a huge fan of Milestone, but ever since the transition from 360 to Xbox One and the PlayStation 3 to PS4, they've just struggled really to kind of get their bearings. And it's a shame really, because I am a huge Milestone fan and I really want them to do well. And the problem is, they're just happy to kind of, at least it feels to me, they're happy to just kind of sit back, release the same thing over and over and pretty much be done with it. Now, what really irked me, and this is what makes me stray away from kind of AAA games, is the monetization patterns. You know, the typical, oh, we're going to release this game at $60. Day 1 DLC, Season Pass, bonus credit multipliers, all that kind of crap, which I absolutely hate. I think it's just a shill, it's just so freaking cookie cutter that it's just blah. And Milestone, I believe, are trying to aim at this direction. You know, you got the Season Pass for this game, which, why? And you got the Day 1 DLC, again, really cringeworthy, and it wouldn't be so bad, but the problem is, there's like a major amount of bugs. Now, again, they've probably fixed a few since launch, but still, it's enough to really stand out. You know, the game often crashes for me, and I come across a strange, like, audio bug with the engines, which I'm going to play now. I also like fallen through maps with any kind of contact with the wall and stuff, and there's also times where there's been like missing bike parts, and I've gone off track a bit now, what I said, but yeah, I mean, I'd rather them just come out with a solid game without no bugs than to try and just kind of split it all up into little pieces, try and milk the consumer for all this money, especially when the game could do some work in the back end, but I bet you the DLC works properly. You know, it's definitely, you know, a shame that they've gone this route. I'd rather just have one price for the whole game rather than for it to be split up like it has been. And the game isn't exactly cheap neither. It retails at about $60 or $80 for the gold edition. I believe that's the US price. It's about $54, I think, for the base, and $74 for the gold edition. It's insane. I mean, I'd rather play a game and over a short period of time, or a long period of time, if the game is still holding up well, still a lot of fun to play, then I'd like DLC. Not just instant DLC on day one just to kind of get me to just extract even more money from you. However, I do understand that all the bikes on this game are licensed, and therefore that probably licensing and stuff is probably very expensive for them, but it's still frustrating. I'd rather just have one price to pay instead of all these different kind of season passes and crap like that. It's just really frustrating. And another thing is, a lot of developers, they say, oh look, it's a season pass, and they never go through with it, so you just end up with a crap season pass for the free DLCs on day one. So yeah, I mean, I'd rather just Milestone go back to the roots of just appealing to kind of like just being themselves, really. I mean, trying to be with the AAA scene is disappointing because they deserve much better than that. They don't just deserve to be cookie cutters, yearly, annual releases. And I've gone on a bit of a tangent here, and I really do apologise for that. So this is Ride 3, and again, yeah, it's just exactly how I feel about it. It's just an average racing game with the few bugs which can kind of drop it down into the subpar zone, which is a shame. There are new features on this game. There's a total of 30 tracks. Now this is actually the best part of the game for me personally. The new tracks they added are some of my favourite. You got Laguna Seca, which I absolutely love. You got like stuff like Brands Hatch and Alton Park, and like really just a lot of new tracks, and it's great. There's different variants to them as well, so you can do like the short Macau track, then you've got the long Macau track, even though I think I just said one track which didn't have a variant, but I'll just give an example anyway. And yeah, however, there's a caveat to that, because the draw distance on this game isn't really far at all. So when you do a variant track, because you can only see so far, you'll only see the cones or whatever until it's too late, so then you just go flying straight past into the barrier or whatever, or cutting the track because you're not meant to go straight ahead. But of course, that would be challenged by, of course, paying attention to what track you're going into. But still, I feel like I'm more of an adapter. I'm live on the tracks as I race, and I really enjoy that. And as I said, this game has a lot of licensed bikes, which is really, really cool. I looked up the number, and there's over 230 bike models, all licensed, which is absolutely nice. And you can actually customize them all. Now, if you're old to ride, you understand that you could do quite a bit. You could change the engine, suspension, brakes, and all that. And you could also customize the color of the chain, the color of the brake lines, and mirror colors. But in this one, you can only change the color of the handlebars. Wait, no, handlebars, the grips. You can't even change the handlebar colour. You can only change the grip colours, which is quite a shame, because again, I like to mix in some of the bike colours and the bike schemes. The game does have a few new features though, and one of the new features is, of course, racing in nighttime, which I feel it's alright-ish. I mean, kind of the lamp on the front of the bike looks stupid, because when you turn, it doesn't turn with you, so it's just kind of there. And again, some of the tracks are really difficult to race in nighttime, and while I normally enjoy night mode, I don't think Ride 3 really pulls it off well. There's also apparently improved AI, and I didn't really notice this too much. In fact, they were more annoying, if anything. But you can actually choose a difficulty this time. There's like another setting, so you got the normal settings, but then you can have a special setting which lets the AI adapt to your difficulty. And I turned that on for a bit, and yeah, they just ended up pretty much hammering me, and then so I turned it off and just went on a very easy mode just to check how easy they were. And it's kind of weird, because sometimes they could be super easy, and then other times, even on very easy, they'll be like right beside me and stuff, and fight until the very end. So there's some sort of consistency errors going on with the difficulties. I don't feel it's very consistent at all. And they've added a new collision system, which again, I didn't really notice. The only thing I know is that the AIs just, if they even tap your bike, you will fly in, and like you could tap, like, oh well, you could literally crash into them most of the times they'll be fine. They'll figure a way of kind of getting out of the crash and staying on their handlebars. As per usual, Ride comes with a massive lengthy campaign. It's volume based this time, so you have like different chapters where you have to get a amount of points to unlock the next kind of sections. And I actually did quite enjoy this part as well, but again, with this like just averageness, that word, I really just want something special now, you know? But with the volume-based career, there's kind of special chapters on the end as well, which gives you a lot of history about the bikes. For instance, like Suzuki bikes, you'll go through all the GSX series, which is one of my favourites, and give you like right from the start all the way up to the new. And during loading times, which are also extremely long, it can actually give you like lots of tips there. But the problem with the loading time for me is kind of when the game finished loading into the game, which again, they're not as long as Ride 1 or 2, they're actually a lot shorter now, thank God. But during the loading times, it says press A to continue, but a lot of the times I skip that and don't really pick up on it, so I'm waiting longer than I actually need to wait. There's quite a few different types of races as well. Obviously you've got the single race, you've got endurance racing, which is basically a race with 30 laps. Drag races, which is really cool. Obviously they can make a comeback from Ride 2 and Ride 1. Point-to-point races, which again, you can be on like Nürburgring, Nordschleife, doing the point-to-point races. Time Attack, Championship, and Track Day, where of course you race as fast as you can and overtake as many opponents as you can. And there's 4 volumes of a tutorial, a kind of riding school thing. But yeah, I mean, again, this is just, to me, it feels like just another average Milestone game. And with the bugs, it ends up being frustrating, and the high price and monetization methods of trying to be a AAA major publisher is kind of frustrating to me. So, I'd only kind of really recommend it to the die-hard fans. And if you're just looking, like if you're a racing fan and you really don't have no other kind of bike racing games, or you feel like dipping your toes in the water, then I'd probably recommend it to you as well. But again, it's very expensive in my opinion. But on the sidewalk, obviously, they got to afford licensing all the bikes and stuff. But again, that's not our problem, that's theirs. You know, if you're making a cake, you have to control the ingredients going into it and the cost of ingredients, not the consumer. But I was just showing some empathy there, and yeah, I mean, overall, it's not a bad game, but I just really want to see Milestone try and do something special instead of the same old cookie cutter game. This is basically what I'm trying to say. So yeah, I mean, that's my review. Hope it helped, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Thanks guys for watching. Have a good day.